Tonight on Debate Amongst Friends, going to talk about Red Sox and Adam Jones's incident, as well as some NFL news, including the NFL draft recap. The NBA playoffs continue, how the winners are winning and the losers are losing, and some WWE Payback starting now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Debates Among Friends, the sports podcast that we give you the daily news and as well as give you our reads. I am the host, Professor John Gotti, and always by my side and give him a rounding welcome back. It is Doc Ocean. How you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. Just so happy to be back. Looking forward to this debate with you, sir, and discussions. Always good to have.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, the craziest part is, and I don't know if you noticed, I don't know if the people have noticed, but it is episode 52 of the sports podcast. We are 1 year in officially, sir. How do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about it. When we started this journey, you would think and look back at it and say, we were so scared a year ago to even record.
I mean,
I remember us recording on Little Mixler.
Shaking and everything.
Yeah, so just to think about it a year later, we definitely came a long way.
No doubt, man, no doubt. And I'm just honored to be able to share this journey with, someone who's not just my best friend and, my running buddy, but someone I call a brother. Alright, that's enough of that little emotional crap. Let's get ourselves into a debate. We got hot topics to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get straight into it. Big news out of Major League Baseball. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, we don't have Senior October to give us his baseball insights, but he will most likely be back next week. Just hang in there. It's alright. But there was an incident out in Boston involving fans hurling taunts. I mean, they usually hurl taunts. It's okay. But in this particular case, it wasn't so good because they was hurling taunts of a racial intent that were hurtful. And I'm glad that no one really written what they said because it'll probably hurt us too. But it was towards, someone of pretty high reputation, Orioles outfielder Adam Jones. Who reacted pretty negatively about it, and it's within right for him to feel that way because I'm pretty sure certain words that was said that is as Dr. Martin Luther King liked to say is the ugliest word in the English language. I mean, Doc, what's your thoughts about this happening? Like,
I am curious to know how many other people this happens to because you think about it. I mean, in the African American community, and I guess that's what we always talk about the word. We talked about this with Sage Steele. We talked about this with Stephen A. Smith. We talked about this for a couple of weeks, and
to me, Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, exactly. We're coming for you. I mean, it's even Vince McMahon. I mean, it's become a point where the media, and I guess it's not the media because this is the fans, like this is society, but the media somewhere in there is making it comfortable, to say the word. It's not just music anymore. It's not even really in movies that I watch, at least. I haven't really heard too many of these type of words in movies, but it just seems.
I think the last word I've really heard it on was Django Unchained.
Possibly, and some people do still use it in a comical connotation, but I don't think that's the type of arena that it should be the light should be shed on it. And it's funny because the same people on the flip side who are probably against Adam Jones, probably against Colin Kaepernick, are
Hmm.
probably the same people who are out there using these particular words.
And I mean, we're not necessarily
We're
just
not.
going to cast judgment on them because of it,
We're not.
but and we're not saying that it's everyone. We're not trying to generalize it.
I would never. I would
I,
never. But I am here to create cash, so
of course,
um,
but at the same time, like we know that this stuff do happen.
it definitely happens. But you got to think. I mean, when you're in that particular arena, when you're in that particular state of mind, you have to think that way. Um, and it actually, it's so funny because I didn't. I'm looking at this article. I had an opportunity to get a few articles about this before the show started, and there's a line right here in the second article that says a moment can be a shorthand for an emotional or a symbol for something greater, which Colin Kaepernick understood when he sat for the playing of the national anthem.
Hmm.
It can be more powerful than any words spoken. And it's funny because, again, when people sit for something, he sat for something that's very important. His was more about, the treatment of African Americans in the country. Adam Jones, if he was to, let's say he was to kneel during the national anthem the next game, you would know exactly why he was doing it.
Yes.
And I wonder how more accepted it would be in this situation if he did it the next game.
I mean, but it's so weird because the way that people look at things, make issues like these, a bigger faux pas, so to speak, because, on one hand, they're like, well, you know, we understand now because of this incident that occurred with Adam Jones, so, we feel sympathetic towards him about it, but at the same time, it's like, well, Colin Kaepernick did the same things, but everyone wanted to sit there and, lay him out on the cross, excuse my religious phrasing.
Sure. I mean,
Like,
when you
does
think,
that speak so much on the hypocrisy of our society today?
absolutely it does. And there is a big hypocrisy. Um, I mean, let's think about the private chat that we had earlier about the overtime rule. I mean,
Well, overtime rule in the economic sense, not the overtime
economic
rule as
sense,
far as the great game that we're going to talk
sports.
about later on in the show.
Yes,
Buzzing.
economic sense. Think about it like that. The hypocrisy in that. A rich man shutting down overtime. you know, how
I
ridiculous
know.
is that? But ultimately, this kind of situation does need to be nipped in the bud, and I hope the MLB, does take a stance on it, and I hope Senior October comes and gives us some more information on it, either later on this week or next week. It's ridiculous. Race, religion, sexual orientation,
Hmm.
sexual identification, anything else that is a
Age now
age.
apparently.
These are things which age is one of those things where I could understand in sports, because your body can only do but so much.
Absolutely.
But my thing is those other traits and those other characteristics shouldn't be used as a sense of, hey, I'm going to hate against you for these things.
Yeah.
You know, um, that's kind of ridiculous.
It
And
is
is a guy.
ridiculous.
I mean, to me, I'm sure he's not the only person that's ever heard it. I'm almost positive. I mean, I think the agent said he's been his agent for 10 years, and he's experienced this for quite some time. And
Hmm.
I mean, let's just be honest. I mean,
Well, it,
baseball.
it it happened. It's just the fact that it's someone who's not afraid to, speak his mind and tell people, "Hey, this is what's going on. This is how I feel about it. Pay attention to this because this is probably happening for a while." But people have been
Right.
more quiet about it than not.
And you don't want it to get to one of those situations where
I mean,
then we
unlike
have we
unlike
have
the
people.
NBA, you know, the African American athlete is the minority in the MLB.
True. Um, I mean, I guess the one thing I always worry about is older players coming back in and saying, "Oh yeah, they used to do that to us all the time. Um, we kind of just ignored it, and like that doesn't make it better."
I
You
mean,
know?
okay, so that right there, I can agree with you, but then here's where I disagree. It depends on the time period they played.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about.
Because
Let's say. All right,
I mean,
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
if it's a recent player, like he played like literally recently, like within the past 10, maybe even 20 years, maybe,
That's what I was going to give
then
you.
I
I was going to
can.
give you an example.
Okay,
King Griffey Jr.
yes, Hall of Famer.
You know, let's say Darryl Strawberry. Do you think people would believe Darryl Strawberry came out and he said, "Hey, yeah, they were racist out there,"
No, they wouldn't believe him because of reputation.
So that's why I mean,
Then
so,
again, Darryl Strawberry would, probably try to jump up to the stands and knock someone out. So
that's true. That's true. That
I
is
mean,
true.
Daryl liked to bang.
He did. He did. Um, I guess to me, it's really sad that you had to go out like that. That you had to even remotely that he has to even remotely have to deal with that.
Absolutely, it is sad. It's a darn shame.
It really is. But I mean, hopefully, it's one of those situations where the MLB takes a firm stand and really just gets it together. Honestly,
I don't know. I mean, then we had another issue, you know, but I mean, it's not about this issue, but just the tension of the game by itself just kept on going and going and going. You know, like it's one of the reasons why I enjoy baseball and Senior October loved baseball. That's his favorite sport. Is the X's and O's, they're all great, but just the passion that you see with the players, the psychological aspect of it, just like how I always
hmm
talk about the psychological aspect of football and basketball as well too, like momentum, being able to one up people, being able to get into people's heads. I mean, it's awesome, but then it's also the fan factor as well too. I still think it's a little bit more open in baseball as far as like
yeah.
fan interaction, and I think that
Well,
needs to get policed a little bit more heavily.
I read one thing where they said that the fans tried to throw like a bag of peanuts at him, and of course they missed and hit a
Yeah,
police officer. I'm curious if those individuals, of course, not only were they escorted out, but if charges were pressed against them, or how does that work? Who knows how that works?
hmm
Like how is that policed? I would like to know because we all know how the police are in the inner cities. I mean, shooting in your area. Back home in Jersey, there were shootings. Here in North Carolina, there were shootings. So, uh, and a lot of them are police involved. So I'm curious how they handle that in the ballpark. But I hate that the fact that these things keep happening.
I
I
mean,
really do.
Stephen A. Smith, that pissant that I'm always, talking
Oh,
smack about all the time, actually made a good
sure.
point for once,
Uh oh.
despite the fact that his show now completely sucks because they're, you know, that's something else. But he made a good point talking about, when fans do stuff like this, you know, they should face prison time.
They should.
They should face
They
prison
they
time. And he
should.
also talked about this with the pitcher as well too, but that's more Senior October thing that he'll talk about one day.
Oh, you mean with the? I saw a few things with baseball this week. I do wish Senor. I do wish we could have had the show on Monday. Apparently, unfortunately, I was still traveling. Um, but yeah, there was a few things. I saw some gang signs being thrown. I saw,
hmm
it was some crazy things. I saw that Mets pitcher. I would have loved to talk to Senor October about that Mets pitcher getting hurt. Um, but we'll catch up with October. We'll catch up with him.
So you might be
Um,
surprised. Maybe he'll just drop in.
that would just be too crazy if
but
October
I
just
knew this
dropped
was
in.
something that we really just needed to talk about because it's this whole PC world that we're living in, and it's now starting to seep much more heavily into sports. Like before, it was more of a small bleed. They didn't really talk about it that much. It's something that people
Mm-hmm.
talk about, in secret, hush hush, it's secret clubs kind of thing. Now it's just everything's in the open now. Like you have to pay attention to this stuff, and talking about this incident not only just make us aware about what's happening in all of the four major sports, but also have the people be aware about this happening as well too, because they might look at him and go, well, maybe he's just taking this out of proportion, until they hear other sources saying the same things.
And that's the part where it's kind of like, you know, you hear a lot of this when like you're talking about one example, rape or um, racial discrimination, I guess, in terms of, let's say, driving while black or something.
Yes.
Um, People say, oh, that doesn't really happen. It's never happened to me, or, oh, you must have did something, or, like, and then people always say in regards to when women get raped, when people get raped. I don't even want to say when women get raped, when people get
When
raped.
people, yes, that's much better.
You know, oh, they shouldn't have dressed a certain way.
Oh
They,
gosh.
they shouldn't have drunk this so much alcohol,
See,
or
all I could think about is that swimmer, that Stanford swimmer. That's all I could think about as you're mentioning that.
and it's just like, why, why, and I mean, I ain't gonna lie, sometimes you find yourself guilty of saying, man, like, why did they wear that? But then you're just like, that shouldn't matter. But why did they wear that?
Yeah.
I mean, oh
But
God,
that's
I wish they
the
didn't
but
wear
that's the
that.
effect of the media that the media has on us, and
Yeah,
that's what
cause
I
I,
talked
cause
about
I,
plenty of times before about the whole media baiting.
yeah,
By them saying all this stuff and rewording certain stuff in articles, it programs our mind to think.
right,
Maybe, we need to look at it this way. Maybe this lady shouldn't have dressed like this. Maybe, such and such shouldn't have happened. Maybe blah blah blah. Like now we're trying to find reasons to, absolve someone of a crime versus just saying, okay, this is just bad. Like let's just get this person off the streets,
right.
you know, close the book on them and be on our way. Versus us trying to get ourselves mentally manipulated, whether people realize it or not,
Definitely.
by the very, very same media that, we depend on for the facts, which, by the way, news flash for people, they don't do that. Sorry.
Um,
I mean, I
the
have nothing else to say
media,
about it, but I mean, say what else say about it, bro.
the media. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. The media has a strong way of, and I guess you were hinting toward this, of pushing people's opinions to be their own.
Yes.
And it's funny because um, I was I got kind of caught up in it with I'll give you an example. The Catch Me Outside girl that we made a millionaire.
It
um,
wasn't me.
hey, the world made her a millionaire.
I
She's a
mean,
millionaire. She's a
oh,
millionaire, bro. Already, she's a millionaire. She's about to have her own reality TV show. She's got a bodyguard that's like 7 foot tall. There was a video that was released of showing a girl getting beat up, and they were like, "Oh, that was her." And I was like, "Dang, they caught her outside." Like, oh man. And a couple of days later, I saw another report, and I was like, "So, oh, that wasn't her." And I was like, "Well, that's just stupid." And then it made me realize how like stupid like the whole entire media is, like the whole thing, because again, the facts. Uh, so you got to be careful with your sources, and I think the problem with us as a society, not of course Doc and Prof, but with us as a society, is that we'll accept the alternative facts that Senior October mentioned last week. But I mean, I'm good with moving. It is terrible. I hope that the MLB fixes it. It's definitely broken, and I don't mean Matt Hardy. It's definitely broken,
Oh boy, I can't believe
and
you
it's
just went there.
and it should be obsolete.
Well, let's move from a really downer topic to something that's gonna have the doctor feeling like a kid in a candy store. The draft happened last week.
Hmm.
He was not around to give his predictions about who will be drafted, but he's gonna have the floor right now to provide the people of his NFL draft recap.
Well, I knew Miles Garrett would be number one. There was too much question about Mitchell Trubisky for the Browns to take a risk. Honestly, if I'm the Browns, you either give Brock Osweiler a chance or you bring in Colin Kaepernick. Those are your options right now. You tried RG3 last year, which was crazy. But at this point, you got to bring in Colin Kaepernick. You can't even bring in Jay Cutler because he's not going to be good for you. You got to bring in Colin Kaepernick. That's a whole nother story. The Chicago Bears gave up so much. I thought when I first saw it, I was like, "Oh my god!" They gave up a good ransom. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't a terrible trade, but for the amount of quarterbacks in this draft that you probably could have gotten, and of course, all the analysts keep saying if Mitchell Trubisky turns out to be a great quarterback, who cares what they gave up? And I listened to the Bears GM, and he did say that they got most of their picks in the later rounds back when they traded back a few times.
Hmm.
But it's like, is Mitchell Trubisky worth it? They passed on Solomon Thomas. They passed on, Leonard Fournette. Some of the other guys. Um, I mean, I don't know. Time will tell. Number 3 pick, Solomon Thomas. I'm gonna tell you right now, John Lynch did his thing for his first NFL draft. I was pretty impressed with him and the 49ers, what they were able to do, getting Solomon Thomas as well as Reuben Foster in the first round. I think their defense is going to be stellar. Um, the Jaguars picking up Leonard Fournette, aforementioned Fournette, who I think is going to be a great player. Hopefully, they continue to build an offensive line around them, and Blake Bortles can grow into a good quarterback. I think he has the tools. I just think they needed that running game to get them going.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty shocked because I don't think I've ever seen this. 3 things that I've never seen in this particular draft. I don't think in my common years of living, I've I don't think I've ever seen picks 1 through 10,
Hmm.
no linemen,
No lineman. I
no
believe
offensive
they said that
lineman,
never happened actually.
no offensive lineman picked in the top 20 because the first offensive lineman wasn't picked till 20. I was so shocked. And number 2, I don't think I've ever seen not one linebacker get chosen in the top 10. And the first linebacker was chosen at number 13. And number 3, I don't think I've ever seen 3 wide receivers go in the first 10 picks. I don't know if I've ever seen that. I think I've always seen about 2, and then like the third person maybe like 12 to 13.
Hmm.
But I mean, obviously we haven't seen running backs go this high in a while, like so many. I think last year, obviously we saw Elliott go, but I mean Christian McCaffrey going at number 8 is so high. Come on, bro. He was going. They had him going number 30 in the draft. He went number 8. That's crazy. But yeah, we had some good picks here. The Titans went with Corey Davis. The Bengals went with John Ross, and the Chargers went with Mike Williams. I think out of the 3, Mike Williams is probably going to be one of the better ones, only because he's got Phillip Rivers throwing to him, and they really, really needed that big threat receiver. Um, they did.
Yeah, they did.
They just kept injuries, just really tore them up. Um, the one surprise pick, which I had a lot of analysts scratching their head, number 10, Patrick Mahomes, going to the Chiefs. Um, I don't know. Do you think this is like a warning shot at Alex Smith? Like I was overseas, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. And I was sitting there. I didn't even bat an eye at it. I didn't really care because I was trying. It was like 3 a.m, and in Paris, and I was sitting there trying to stay awake with one eye open to see who the Bucks picked, and of course I fell asleep and woke up later to see who they picked. But to draft a quarterback for the future and a draft where you can really get some quality players for your team to actually help you this year is kind of rough. Um, but all in all, I mean, just that's the first top 10 picks. Obviously, some people really upgraded. I like what the Philadelphia Eagles did with Derek Barnett. I like what the Colts did with Malik Hooker. Obviously, the Texans drafting Deshaun Watson is going to be probably one of the turning points of the AFC if he's good enough to start and actually play well. I mean, they were already in the actual playoffs last year. Their quarterback just couldn't get it done. So if he's able to step it up, then we're going to see. A couple other picks, Tennessee getting Adoree Jackson, who's a cornerback, but he can also play wide receiver. I think Jonathan Allen from Alabama going to the Redskins is a big move. Obviously, number 19, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers getting O.J. Howard. I was sitting there like, whoa.
I'm
Because I
not gonna
didn't.
lie. I really thought they was gonna get Dalvin Cook.
Well, that's what everybody kept thinking, and I'll be honest with you, listening to all of the podcasts, it was like, oh, we want Dalvin Cook. But the problem was everybody was like, there's no way Doug Martin's going to be on this roster next year. And I'm just like, why is everybody so quick to get rid of Doug? Like, I mean, 2 years ago, he was the leading NFL rusher. I
He
mean,
was,
yeah, like, give him a chance,
but I mean, but do you feel like that's talking about the running back shelf life?
Not really, because when you think about it, I mean, Doug's only been in the league for what, 4 years,
Yep.
and it's like we picked up, 3 other running backs. I think we have 3 other running backs, and then we just drafted a running back in the 5th round, who's also from Boise State.
Hmm.
Um, and it's like you think about it, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, no, everybody's let's get Adrian Peterson and cut Doug Martin. I'm like, no, if we get Adrian Peterson, what a perfect person to pair with Doug Martin. You know what I mean? But Adrian Peterson now, of course, going to the Saints, so we'll battle him out 2 times a year until he leaves there. But OJ Howard's a big pickup. I think he's going to help in the passing and blocking game. Um, the one thing I will say, the one team I do think improved, and a lot of people might not give them credit for it, the Cleveland Browns had a very, very good draft.
I believe so too. I believe they
I
had a.
mean,
Actually, that's gonna be the question I was gonna ask you, since you're talking about who had a good draft. Give me the top three teams that had the best draft and the top three teams that had the worst draft.
well, I'm going to say the Cleveland Browns because I mean they got the number one pass rusher in the league in the draft, Myles Garrett. Um, if he gets a good motor, he could be pretty good. But they also got Jabril Peppers and David Njoku,
Hmm.
which their offense is going to be really good. Jabril Peppers, I think, is really underrated. I don't think people are giving him the credit that he deserves. I think he's going to be something special, something similar to the Honey Badger, and people are not giving him that credit. The second team, I would say, would be the San Francisco 49ers. What they did, they got a better defense. I think that's going to help them out tremendously. Um, I can't say anything more. And third, I mean, everybody has. I mean, if I had to pick, I mean, looking at everything and as far as need, everybody picked up somebody that they needed, and nothing. I don't feel like anybody on this list. Maybe Deshaun Watson, but I mean that's probably a toss up to see how he's gonna do. So as a homer, I'm just gonna go with OJ Howard and the Bucks because I think that he really helps solidify that passing attack as well as the run game. Um, I really think that's going to be a major move. So I'll actually give it a tie between the Bucks and the Giants because the Giants also picked up a tight end, and I think they were like dead last in tight end performance. So we'll go with that. But all in all, I really like what the 49ers and the Browns did.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
But yeah, I mean that's my draft recap.
Hey, I appreciate it. I'm pretty sure the people appreciate it as well too because they missed you so much.
Hey, I mean, you know how it is.
I really don't because I feel like the people are getting tired of my voice sometimes.
Oh my God, the people love the Professor John Gotti, the conqueror, the king of RNG.
Oh gosh.
The
Well,
Professor
now that
John
you're
Gotti.
speaking of king of RNGs, ladies and gentlemen, we now have a online store where you can purchase t-shirts and other products on teesprings.com. Be sure to visit that. We have that in the link in the description of this video, as well as the other different websites that we'll put it on. Once again, teesprings.com, as well as tonight's sponsor is brought to you by, officially and unofficially,
Stella. That's why.
Be sure to pick it up at your local grocery store, and always remember to drink responsibly.
And speaking of beer, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really wish that they sold that. I guess it would be Estella, Estella, because the L's are kind of weird in Spain. Not weird, but they have that It was so delicious, but that's a whole nother story.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was so good. So good. So good. But we definitely talk about it, though. So I know we have some NBA news, some updates. I saw LeBron just pass Kareem. Looks like on scoring. Yeah, I know.
At this point, he's going to break all the records, but I mean, more power to him. I'm glad that, records are getting broken, but at the same time, it's like they take it and then they instantly go, well, let's compare this to Michael Jordan.
Yeah, they do. They do that.
But why?
But why?
Like, we're talking about passing Kareem.
Yeah.
Why are we instantly comparing it to Michael Jordan? Let's just pump the brakes real quick. Let's relax.
Let's chill.
Stop being a pissant.
Don't be a pissant. Don't be a couple of haters.
Like, if that's the case, then if you just want to talk about random stuff, go work for WWE.
Oh, ho, ho. I see what you did there.
You see what I did there?
I like it.
But Isiah Thomas went absolutely insane in the fourth quarter and overtime to finish the game with 53 points.
Are we surprised, though?
I mean, it's not crazy surprising, but at the same time, given all the circumstances and whatnot, and for him to have this kind of game, like, I really enjoyed this game.
No, definitely. And I saw bits and pieces because I, of course, returning from overseas, I'm just so tired.
Just conquering the world.
Just trying to just be like the conqueror. I think that, they're really going in. First he loses his tooth, and, the first thing I thought about...
First of all, let's just talk about that real quick. Like, how ironic.
I know.
That when that happened, and then later on in the night,
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy loses his tooth too. Yeah, conspiracy,
Yeah.
my booty.
Oh my goodness, not bootios. Um, I think for me, it reminded me of Cinderella Man
Yes.
when the guy, I forget who he was fighting, um, hit him with all he had, and Russell Crowe's mouthpiece fell out, and he walked over to it, bent over, picked it up, smiled,
Smiled, yes. I love that movie.
spit blood on the ground, put his mouthpiece back in, and then went to work on him. It's kind of what it was like. I mean, it was pretty epic. I won't lie, it was pretty epic. Um, but we've seen this from Isaiah Thomas all year.
I know we have, but the problem is that we really didn't see it that much in the first round.
We didn't, but you have to keep in mind that
And
like
and maybe that's why, people are taking it blah blah blah. For me, I just enjoy the fact based off the circumstances that he was able
right,
to just bounce back from that on an emotional level. And,
right,
once he was able to seal the game in, the raw emotions that was emoting out from him, was why showed why I love playoff basketball. Like that's what we want to see. That raw emotion to know it doesn't matter what you do, we still beat you.
without question. I would say, is it that Isaiah Thomas is really great, or is it just a showing that the Wizards are just who we thought they were?
Oh, the Wizards are exactly who we thought we are, and I believe it was actually no, because Q Martin did say that they was gonna lose in the first round.
But he was strong though. I knew they would get past the Hawks because, and we're gonna talk about the Hawks too for a little bit. But they got past the Hawks, and I
Yeah.
told him that they would. Doc Reeves, get the T-shirt. Um,
Yes, that is also available.
that was
Also,
available. Yes,
hashtag Professor Got Reads too.
Doc Reeves.
But we'll get to
Um,
that in a second.
we will, we will. But they haven't done anything to get better, and everybody else in the East kind of has. And if it wasn't for certain injuries, you know, we would be looking at different. We might be looking at different playoffs if Rondo doesn't get hurt.
This is true.
You know, imagine if Jabari Parker doesn't get hurt in Milwaukee. Maybe they make it to the next round.
But
You
once
know,
again, that's the magic of the playoffs, though.
playoffs, baby. Yeah,
Oh gosh. Hashtag $20 Chinese food.
we're not telling you truth. Um, but Isaiah Thomas, we expect this from him, and I'm glad he showed up. But I mean, I hate the circumstance, but I love the fact that he's performing during the circumstance.
Yes.
Oh, and that's the part that I can understand how you would be like, yes, please, please.
I mean, I'm gonna ask a trolling question because the people that want me to say it, I know they don't. But since the media loves to do this, I'm going to ask you this.
Sure.
So, would you say that the Isaiah Thomas 50 whatever point game was, on par with the Michael Jordan flu game?
No. No,
You,
no.
you see my face there, right?
Nothing can top anything else.
You see my face, sir?
Don't troll. Don't ask any troll questions.
Yeah. But that's how the media acts. That's how they look.
Nothing can top anything else. And I think that's the one thing. Because even somebody was talking about like the Paul Pierce wheelchair game.
No. The closest
like,
thing to that one is the Willis Reed moment.
and it's like, come on, like, just stop it. Just stop it. Let's just let people have their moments. Like nothing will ever top Tracy McGrady's 90 points in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, let's just stop it. So let him have his moment. It was a great moment. It was a great game, great finish, and that's it. Now you mentioned
Problem
something.
is they'll just take it with a grain of salt, or
You
they'll over exaggerate it.
And my thing is, in looking at it, the Celtics do have a lot of pride, and I'm glad you put that there because they're playing with pride, especially Jamison Crowder. I think he's playing some great basketball. I, I'm okay with Al Horford, and I wish I would have. I think this would be a great segment, and obviously we're going to talk about this in between this game and, of course, the Rockets game. But Al Horford versus LaMarcus Aldridge. It's like
Don't try to PC it, sir. The people want to know. Tell them.
I
Just say it.
mean, what the heck happened to them? Like, even Dwight Howard. I'm gonna take this and say this: Dwight Howard has been such a disappointment since he left Orlando.
This is true.
Like,
This is true.
I
Actually
mean,
we was talking all about it on Facebook today.
he's been so terrible. Like, and then he just keeps complaining and complaining and complaining, and you're just sitting there like, dude. You see DeAndre Jordan out there missing 19 free throws, and he's still. He's getting what? I think I've seen DeAndre Jordan score, 12 and 17,
Mm-hmm.
15 and 17, and I'm like, dude, that's all you have to do. That's all people want you for is your defense, and you're not even bringing that anymore.
Nope.
But Al Horford and LaMarcus Aldridge, they have. They're harder to find than Carmen Sandiego and Waldo.
Dang. That's hard to find.
I mean, and let me tell you,
Tell me.
finding Waldo is easy. We're in the world. It's Carmen Sandiego,
Or
but
we're on Earth, or we're in time. I mean, she's
I
everywhere.
mean, but where the heck is LaMarcus Aldridge? And don't get me wrong,
I mean, we'll find out soon. I mean,
Al Horford is.
quick recap on the score. The Cavaliers are up 72-56 in the third quarter. And right after this is the nightcap game of the Houston Rockets versus the San Antonio Spurs for Game 2 back in San Antonio. Go ahead, sir.
Which I can't wait for. I'm probably not gonna stay up to watch the whole thing, but I'm gonna do my best for the people. But what the heck, man? I'm just trying to figure out what's really going on with these particular guys. And Al Horford is playing better, of course, than LaMarcus Aldridge. But I did see somebody on Facebook say that LaMarcus Aldridge was going to show up today and try to destroy us. But the way we're playing them is the same way we're playing. We played against OKC, but we're going to get there. What do you think the Wizards need to do to beat the Celtics?
Well, to quote a great man, heart.
Oh,
They need
what do you
heart.
mean? What do you mean heart? Oh
Heart.
yeah.
But for real though, they really do need heart. John Wall had a game.
I heard Bradley Beal. Based on what I saw, didn't show up. He didn't have any heart.
No. And
No
then
heart.
people were just trolling the other Wizards player. I think someone was talking about how Marcin Gortat is the spiritual successor to, I think they said Moses Malone or something like that. And I'm
Goodness.
looking at it, I'm just like, what?
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 Some people are crazy out there, bro.
But the coach is just getting outplayed badly.
By Brad Stevens.
Like, they're not doing anything, and, every single analyst has been saying this today, and I wholeheartedly agree. They're not doing anything to punish Isiah Thomas on the defensive end.
And I heard that. I think Otto Porter was on him.
Yes,
at
that's
one
who
point?
that's who was getting trolled. I believe it was actually Kiki, fan of the show. Shout out to Kiki.
Yep, Kiki.
Said that Otto Porter needs to give his check back.
I did see that.
And
That's
I said,
so
wow,
sad.
it feels like these playoffs is making, so many players suspect now.
And Otto Porter was a really solid player.
Keyword is
I
was.
Yeah, he was a pretty solid player. And I mean, when you look at it, think about it like this: when the beginning of the season started, there were certain players where I was just like, let's get rid of them. Even with the Rockets, I wanted to get rid of Trevor Ariza. I wanted to get rid of a few people because I just
Corey
didn't think they
Brewer, which was like the top of your list.
top of my list. Um, Even KJ McDaniels because of the money, you know. But I'm sure Otto Porter wasn't one of those guys because you expected him to show up.
Hmm.
But now you got to question these guys like, hey, I mean, these guys aren't who we thought they were.
Which is why I said they need heart.
Heart. Terrible. Terrible. But I understand completely. But moving on here, I mean, we got the Cavs. I know we don't want to spend too much time on the Cavs. Um,
I mean,
is this a sweep, or do you think they're gonna give you that
they're
Raptors
gonna
game?
they're gonna give us the fix one game.
They're gonna give us okay.
They're gonna give the Raptors one game. Not because I'm not, you know, a Raptors fan. I'm just saying
Sure,
this is eerily familiar to last year, and I feel
absolutely,
like okay. Let me ask this question:
sure.
Was the professor right, or was the professor right about the Cavaliers sandbagging?
You mean as far as this year?
Yeah,
Well,
as
yes.
far as their path to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, absolutely. Why would you want to play the Bulls? I mean, just think about it. Why would they want to have played the Bulls? Really?
To have LeBron stick it to Dwayne Wade.
No, it's too dangerous.
I know it was too dangerous. That was a rhetorical answer.
Way, way too dangerous. I mean,
I
come
mean,
on, way too dangerous.
hashtag Professor Got Reese. Pick it up at Teesprings, ladies and gentlemen. But it's gonna, if it's not a sweep, it's gonna go to 5. Just because of the Toronto crowd.
Well,
Like I said, it's literally like watching last year's playoffs all over again.
I hear you. I mean, to
Like
me, it's
it's
just
like it's like the Raptors play with confidence, but they're playing with, you know, scarce confidence. They're scared, but they're still trying to play confident.
I understand what you're saying. I just think that it's one of those situations where they're another team, even though they went out and signed like Serge Ibaka and a few other people.
That doesn't mean
Um,
anything though.
yeah, that's what I was alluding to. Like, I just don't feel like they've come to a point where they've gotten better. I think even Stephen A. Smith and some other analysts were talking about like Norman Powell, and I was just like, Norman Powell's a great scorer. Don't get me wrong. I like Norman Powell, but we're talking about the East versus LeBron James, and
Exactly.
you know, I think we were even talking about that with I was watching Sports Center, and they were talking about obviously the Clippers, and basically it was a situation where you're talking about Blake Griffin and Chris Paul. And it's like, where do they go? Do they go out? Do they stay west, or do they go east? Or if you go east, you got to deal with LeBron.
But at the same time, if you group up, then it's not as bad. But if you just go
Whew.
to a team that just has role players and you're the only superstar, of course there's going to be problems with LeBron.
Where are you
That's
going?
always
Though?
the problem with LeBron now.
I mean, of course, my hope is, you know, Blake Griffin says, "Forget it, I'm going to OKC." That's where they're probably going to try to send him, to play with Russell Westbrook so they can run and dunk everywhere.
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds like a train wreck ready to happen.
it does. It does, but that's probably what they're gearing up for, just so that they can
I mean,
the
I'll
market,
say this, and
the
this is going to
market.
be
It makes
this is going to be
sense.
controversial and create a lot of cash. Blake Griffin, with all the talent that he has, health wise, he is as durable as Kevin Nash.
Mm. And we know Kevin Nash is nowhere near durable.
Because
Like
I
not
feel like
even.
every single time Blake Griffin goes up for a dunk, I fear for his quads. I fear
Oh,
for his
yeah.
legs. I fear for his foot. I fear for his pinky toe.
You shot my pinky toe.
Exactly.
I mean, but my thing is, you're gonna see what happens. And I mean, the only team right now that could even have remotely the team that can even remotely challenge the Cavs, I think I forget which analyst it was, but he was saying the Washington Wizards, and I was just like, have you not seen the? Even if you would have said the Raptors in this situation, in this series, the Raptors have a chance. He said the Wizards,
No,
and I'm like,
to quote a great song back in the Attitude Era, they got no chance in
no
hell
chance. And
of
I'm
winning this series.
and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, how could you dare skip past Boston? How could you?
They feel like that because it's only Isaiah Thomas, which is crazy because, Avery Bradley has been stepping it up. He's been defending the
Yeah.
best people on the wings.
And what about
Marcus Smart,
Al
who
Horford?
who could potentially become what, first or second team all defense?
Yeah. And Al Horford.
I'm not going there. That one.
Go there.
I mean, I still feel like that he kind of plays like a pissant. He just plays for a good system right now.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But we're gonna see. We'll see. Obviously, the next topic is near and dear to the Doc's heart.
Yes, the Jazz and the
Oh no,
Warriors.
I'll get to the Warriors.
No,
But
the Houston Rockets
yes,
laid the smack down
I,
on the San
um,
Antonio Spurs
which,
badly.
which, granted, I know each game is not going to be like that. I would love for it to go down that way all the time. I really would. But I know it's not going to happen like that each game, unless. And this is what I was saying. We're playing the way we played OKC. Say, all right, we're going to try to. We're not gonna shut Russell Westbrook down. We knew that.
Yeah,
But if
impossible to do.
right, but if we could say, hey, maybe we could just let Andre Robertson shoot, and he has to beat us.
Which, didn't you just make the comparison of Andre Roberson and Danny Green?
Because that's what they're doing. I mean, James Harden's like, Danny Green's going to beat us. Danny Green's got to score 50 points to beat us.
Danny Green was hitting threes though.
He was. So was Andre Robertson.
Andre Robinson shot what for three for that series? Hold on, I'll check.
Check.
Because I'm about to have a great laugh. I think he shot like 18%.
Because he was wide open. He had to shoot.
That's why I'm like, what? Wait, what?
We're only on the first game. Danny Green might shoot the same percentage.
He could.
I'm just saying.
He really could. Let me get series stats. Just wait for it to pull up. But yeah, keep going talking about that first game.
I want you to pull it up right now.
I'm trying.
I want you to pull it up right now.
First of all, that's controversial. That's like really controversial.
But
how do you feel about the Rockets, hitting 20 plus threes in the game though? Like, is that do you feel like they can do that all the way to the finals?
No. I think that we have to play a different type of basketball. I think that we have to. I mean, listen, I would love for us to play like that all the time. It's just not
Andre
really.
Roberson shot 40%, 41% from three.
41%.
But
That's
shot an
outstanding.
abysmal 14% from the free throw line.
Who cares?
Free throws win championships though.
But that's what we wanted. We wanted him to shoot the threes. If
He
drove
shot
the
7 for 17, so it's not like wow, it's 42%. Like, oh my gosh, he's hitting them.
But the average 3-point shooter is in the 30s. I mean, come on.
Because he lost confidence because people kept laughing at him.
Come on, you're a data analyzing ninja. Like,
It
come
was.
on.
I know, but it's really hard for people to maintain their confidence when you get caught with a fake hook shot and crows are laughing at you.
I can't believe you went there. I cannot believe you went there. But hey, they are trying. It's almost like they're playing a zone against Kawhi Leonard. And hey, Danny Green is going to have to beat us.
He
The
will.
3 point
I mean,
Patty
he's not. He's
Patty
not
Mills.
will, but like, he's hitting the shots though.
I mean, is he?
I'll tell
I
you the
mean, what
stats
was
for
his
this one too.
percentage? Let's check his percentage.
I'm doing it right now.
I felt like he hit a few.
Danny Green was 30%. He was.
30%.
Oh, he was 2 for 9. It made it seem like that he scored more.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I could have sworn he hit like 3 though.
Maybe you thought he did.
I could have sworn he hit 3 unless that was a replay.
Possibly.
That was on Professor. This is why I'm only the lowly professor and he's the doctor.
That's what I was like. What in the world is?
I really thought that he was hitting threes. Like,
No, I was. That's why I was sitting there like you were laughing at DeAndre Robinson, and I'm like, did he not see what was going on out there? I mean, but don't get me wrong. I think that Danny Green probably will hit more threes tonight because James Harden's lagging off him, and they're just closing out on him. And if he shoots it, he shoots it. They'll take his make. If he makes too many and they go up, then that might change the strategy a little bit.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, as it stands right now,
I mean, do you feel like that the Rockets can do that to, let's say, a LeBron James team, the LeBron Cavaliers?
for the Cavs, they probably. Well, we beat the Cavs really bad in the season, and
Season means nothing though.
it does, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I think in the season we continuously lost to the Spurs, and it's because we weren't playing this type of defense. And I'm gonna have to give D'Antoni and the Rockets staff credit for this defensive strategy they put together for this whole series so far, because what they did to the Thunder and what they just did to the Spurs shows that they can play defense. And I even seen James Harden out there playing defense.
Yes.
I'll go on a limb to say I think James Harden that plays better defense on small forwards and power forwards than he does guards. I just don't know if he has the lateral quickness to keep up with people, and I think that's what gets him in trouble a lot of times. But I think it's really more about effort at
Yes.
this point. Sometimes he just doesn't show the effort. But I mean, I think it's going down basement.
So, what do you think about this series then? How far you think it's gonna go?
I'm hoping to game 5 or 6 Rockets, but I don't know if Q is going to agree with that.
I mean, we'll have Q back on here once the conference finals are set to start.
Again, I mean, the season has built up and the Rockets have prepared. If everybody's hitting their shots, the Spurs can't beat us. We're talking about James Harden, Lou Williams, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, and Trevor Ariza is playing out of his mind. So if everybody's hitting their shots, even Patrick Beverly's hitting shots.
I was about to say, you completely forgot about Pat Beverly, and you love him.
I didn't forget about him. It's just I don't expect his three to fall in as much as those other guys.
Yeah, until someone like give him a blindside pick.
And then it's game over. It's game over, okay?
Because I saw that happen. I'm like, oh no, that's like the worst thing you want to do.
Oh, it's game over. It is game over.
Game over, man.
Hilarious. But I know that we have got to go on. But before we do, I know the one thing that is not in here that's really impactful, and I was going to bring it up within the next topic with the Jazz and the Warriors, but two things. Obviously, we got to talk about the. Actually, let's move on to the next one first.
Okay.
I think it'll all tie in.
Yeah, I know where you're gonna go with that one. So
It's a few things I was going to go there, but I
yeah,
think it'll all tie in. I can kind of go with Doc on Doc Cry.
hilarious. I can't believe you just said that on air.
Uh, I had to. I couldn't wait. But the Warriors are in the Western Conference Finals. They're just going through some couple, maybe a week of practice.
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. No
what?
respect.
You don't
No
think they're going through?
respect.
You don't think they're going through a week of practice?
You don't feel like the Jazz can get one game on them?
No, I don't. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's not going to happen. If it does happen, I would be completely shocked. But I'm highly.
I mean, they only lost by 12.
That probably was a modest 12, where it was like, it probably was supposed to be 15, 16, but I'll let them have their 12, and I'll raise them 15 tonight, or whenever they play again.
I mean, it's not like the Jazz were the Spurs.
But the Spurs weren't even the Spurs. I mean, it was like the game.
The Spurs was like they were the Nets or the Knicks.
Excuse me, I don't think it was that
I had
bad.
to say both of them because I didn't want to be biased to Senior October.
True. I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was that bad. Come on.
Really? Did you not see the score? Should I tell the score for the people? I mean, 126 to 99.
We just started
Compared
out
to
hot. Come on.
what? I don't care. It
Come
doesn't
on.
matter. If
Come
they
on.
start off hot and then they stayed hot the whole game, it doesn't matter. They lost big.
We started out pretty
It's-
hot, bro.
It's up to the Spurs to find a way to answer back and for Pop to rally his troops to make something happen. But we're not talking about the Rockets anymore. Let's talk about the Warriors and the Jazz and the potential of a 5-game series.
Well, I mean, ultimately, to me, you said 5-game series. That's adorable. It's a 4-game series, sir. Like, I just don't think it's happening. The Warriors are not the Clippers, okay? Doc Rivers is not on the sideline. In fact, Steve Kerr's not even on the sideline, and they still won by 12. So, to me, it's like, no. I don't even know who their coach is right now.
Mike Brown.
Oh, my God. Maybe they will win 5. Maybe they will win in 5 or 6. Not Mike Brown. Anybody but Mike Brown.
Yep.
Ugh.
Mr. Kissing LeBron James bootio.
Oh,
himself.
not Mike Brown. Oh, Jabbo.
Ooh, Chavo. ding, ding, ding. But yeah, Mike Brown is the replacement head coach for.
I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going
In
5
fact,
though.
I believe analysts asked, "Will Mike Brown get a head coaching job?" After
No.
this whole thing,
No.
he said no.
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 No. Like,
No.
well, what about Luke Walton? Well, Luke Walton was never a head coach.
No.
Mike
Luke
Brown
Walton.
Mike
No.
Brown been fired on
No.
multiple teams.
No. Luke Walton was the Spurs. No, excuse me. Was the Warriors coach from mid-season through the playoff, like up to the playoffs and into the playoffs, or close to the playoffs. Like, I mean, he coached like 40 games.
It was like from like towards the beginning of it was like around the beginning of the season, so about All-Star break.
He coached like
because there was controversy because Steve Kerr was elected to be the coach.
Right,
and
I
it
do
should have been
remember
Luke
that.
Walton, and that was the whole debate about that.
I do remember that. I mean, my thing is, no, man, get that crap out of here. Get that weak stuff out of here.
No.
Get that out of here.
Don't bring that in here.
So, no. 5 games tops.
Wait, sorry. I'm sorry, Kemi Mutombo, if you're listening. It was for jokes. It wasn't for real. Please don't hurt me.
Oh God, no, there, no,
And
there.
and if you are gonna hurt someone, his name is Doctor Trevor O'Shea
Definitely not. Definitely not. Um,
or Singer October because he can't defend himself.
Senior October is better. That's much better. Um, but
So I mean, 5 games then.
sure, I'll give him 5 games because of Mike Brown.
Dang. But let's
But
get to this
but he
doc on
win.
doc crime before
So,
we get into WWE.
so let me ask you. I mean, because you were pretty adamant that you didn't think he was gonna be let go
I said he was to be let go at the end of
this year.
this year. Next year, absolutely. If they have the same mediocre type, postseason again, he's gone.
So you don't think this is it?
I don't feel like this is it.
What if? What if Chris Paul or Blake Griffin said, "Hey, I'm not coming back if Doc is there"?
Then he's gone by All-Star break. Maybe even
No,
sooner.
I said no. They're both free agents this year, right now.
If they don't re-sign, he's going to last around up to All-Star break.
No. If they go to Steve Ballmer and say, "If Doc Rivers is here, I'm not here."
Oh, that's a different story then. But I
I'm
still
just
say
saying.
that, he'll probably say, oh, well, sound like a CEO now. I really don't want you to go, but, I understand your qualms, but Doc Rivers is still the head coach of this team. And they go, bye. And then about 17 games to the season, they're like 1-16, and then he gets the boot.
So you're telling me that Austin Rivers is the starting point guard of the Clippers this
Austin
year?
Rivers would be the starting point guard for the Clippers.
Wow.
And not only will his father be gone, but then he'll be traded or released by All-Star break
To the Knicks.
to the Nets.
So quick. To the Nets. Well, they got Jeremy Lin. They got Jeremy
To
Lin.
the Nets.
Oh God.
Like, I'd rather have Linsanity back than to have Austin Rivers.
I feel you. So quick.
In fact, James Dolan, I'm calling you out for that, okay? Do something that's not going to make me want to not be a Knicks fan anymore. Like, if you're going to do something stupid, at least go get Jeremy Lin.
Hilarious.
At least that way we get more publicity. God darn it.
That's true. That's true.
But we're not talking about my pissant Knickerbocker front office anymore.
We
Let's
won't
talk
do
about
that.
the pissantry that is the Los Angeles Clippers.
Well, two things. Obviously, like 5 or 6 people are up for free agency. Quick prediction. Chris Paul. Obviously, there are several teams he can go to, several teams he can't go to, several teams he won't go to.
I feel like the Knicks is now a team that no one wants to play for because of the Carmelo Anthony situation.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't blame him for because I feel the same way.
Do you think Carmelo finagles his way to Los Angeles? Excuse me.
I think I said Indiana because Paul George is most likely going to go to LA.
But why would you want to go there and be and basically get to the same place that Paul George got, in which they're losing probably their biggest asset in Larry Bird?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think he's their
weird.
biggest asset.
It's weird though. But I feel like Chris Paul will. If the rumors are right and it makes sense, and B-Ball Breakdown, shout out to them. We'll follow them on Twitter at B-Ball Breakdown and bballbreakdown.com.
Mm-hmm.
They talked about Chris Paul possibly joining the Spurs, and the LaMarcus Aldridge experiment ending.
I like it. Only thing about it, if you get rid of Marcus Aldridge, like, what are you doing? Are you relying on the likes of Paul Gasol to lead you to the?
I think that's a pretty good. I think that's a pretty good big three right there, though.
Paul Gasol.
Paul Gasol, Chris Paul, and Kawhi Leonard. I mean, the only reason why they would keep LA in SA, ha ha ha, is because Chris Paul's a distributing point guard, and he'll get into the lane and he'll be able to kick it out to LaMarcus Aldridge, which that's his major strength, is pick and pop situations versus playing team ball. Which people break down also emphasized on that, which
Sure.
I posted that on the Debates Among Friends fan page at the Debates Among Friends on Facebook and at Debates Among Fur on Twitter.
I cannot believe you just said that. Oh god, it's definitely debate amongst friends. It's definitely debate amongst friends. It just can't. Oh, that's hilarious.
I knew you liked that though.
All right, but quickly, then we can go to WWE Payback. Blake Griffin. Do you think? Because the main thing is the money.
It's always about the money.
So, do you think he stays put for the money, or do you go money out? Do you go success?
Honestly,
he's young. He doesn't really have the. He doesn't have the future.
It's the injuries, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have the future.
Like he's gonna go into the free agent market thinking that he's gonna get like a max deal, which some stupid team's actually gonna do it. God.
Well, the only team that the Clippers are the team that can pay him the most money. So, he has a player option.
James Dolan, please do not sign Blake Griffin.
It would be terrible. It really would. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
I will say this right now: if James Dolan signed Blake Griffin, I would become a Rockets fan.
Wow.
I will be done with the New York Knicks. Like, first of all, hashtag Professor Got Reads by TheSherylTSprings.com /debates among friends, no underscore, no dashes in between, debates among friends.
Finally.
But I'll be done with the Knicks because like, we're just doing the same darn things over and over and over.
Again.
But
speaking of again, let's move on. Blake Griffin will make money. We all know Russ Westbrook will make money. Paul George will make money. But let's get to some WWE Payback and other news. Can I just say how social media roasted all over that Randy Orton versus Bray Wyatt match?
Good, because they deserve to get roasted on for that POS display of, the... I wouldn't even say a B level, a F level version of Final Deletion.
So...
It was terrible.
One meme was that, they were so close to pulling it off, but Randy had to stop and get a haircut and a shave. Because I guess in one scene, he had a beard, and then the next he didn't. So, yeah.
Wait, can we get confirmation on that? I mean, the people on the chat right now, can we get confirmation on that? Like,
that's
that
what it showed.
That would be awesome, though. That would actually be awesome.
Goodness.
But I mean, it was just a pain to watch, and I watched it. And I was speaking to some people on Twitter, they're like, oh my gosh, they're really trying hard. I'm like, I'll be honest with you, like, I might as well just watch the highlights from DreamHack, which would be my final thoughts for today. Than to watch this, thing. Like, I almost went back onto Twitter and revitalized the list of Gotti again.
Oh, not the
all
list
the things
of
I'd rather do than to watch this quote-unquote House of Horrors / quote-unquote _ Batman symbol Haxer Lingos piece of crap match.
I mean, I definitely get it, and I was actually, again, overseas still. I knew I wasn't gonna probably catch up to it. And I watched some of it. Of course, I read some of the highlights, which the WWE, the booking of Jericho versus Kevin Owens,
It was
it
a
just
head
didn't.
scratcher. It was a head
Yeah,
scratcher.
because that's why I said he might as well have kept it at WrestleMania. You know, it didn't make any sense for him to win it and then lose it on free TV. I know that's one of your pet peeves that they do nowadays.
You know what that's
And he
called? That's called 50-50 booking.
and that's exactly what happened.
Shout out to What Culture and Simon Miller for that video too, by the way.
Definitely. Um, but was there any matches that you saw that just was like, yes, this could have given it at least a B?
The cruiserweight match,
I
but
figured you
it
were.
it, it hurt because of the dusty ending.
Yeah.
Like it was a pissantry of pissants.
Oh God. Not pissantry of pissants.
Like I'm gonna come up with so many new wordings for the word pissant that I'm gonna get bored with it.
Oh God. Just wow.
I mean, the tag team title match, it was okay. You know, Cesaro and Sheamus, they needed to turn heel because they was doing nothing with their lives. So that
Yeah.
makes the most sense.
Do you think? And a lot of people keep saying that the broken gimmick is starting to come alive now.
I think it's more because of how the legal issues are now starting to favor towards the Hardys now.
Mm-hmm. Which is pretty stupid because I mean, if you create a character, I mean,
I know, and it's just something crazy. And Jim Cornette talked about that too up on YouTube, and I should have sent you that video, but it was actually really good. Just talking about like how it's a shame how certain companies will pigeonhole certain gimmicks to make sure that they keep all the rights to it, so they can't take it elsewhere, like holding the names and holding certain gimmicks and whatnot.
right? Not that Kevin Nash wanted to be Big Daddy Cool or Diesel in WCW.
I'm pretty sure he was happy with using Big Daddy Cool.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he probably really enjoyed Big Sexy. Which, by the way, apparently he is, quite the way with words when it comes to talking to ladies.
Oh.
He's just, really committed to his wife, so. I mean, even the Samoa Joe Seth Rollins match wasn't that bad, but people on Twitter just talking about, I mean, I feel like I've seen this before, and Four Eyes got upset when I mentioned it a while back, but
You did,
it's
yeah.
like I keep seeing the same flipping matches over and over again that I was watching the indies, and they'll do pretty much the same things. Granted, they can't do as much, but
Right.
it's the same flipping match. Oh,
Same
well,
thing.
I never seen it before. Okay, I understand that. However,
The
you're
people
talking
that
about, oh, I
have,
want fresh new things and blah, 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 but then we're getting the same things we seen back in 2008.
yeah. And I mean, again, we talk about the indie darlings all the time. I didn't really watch the indies, and even
Which the
now,
Indie Darlings is basically the best matches of, every single pay-per-view.
it's
Have you
true.
not noticed that?
That's definitely true. I don't know.
Austin Aries is Neville, Seth Rollins, Samoa Joe. Just Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, NXT. Like, you see all these amazing matches, people who came from the indies. Asuka versus Ember Moon.
True. Who I think Ember Moon just got injured, I believe.
Yeah, and that's a shame.
It is.
But the real highlight of the evening was everyone's favorite, country monster, Braun Strowman, destroying Roman Reigns to the joy of the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
As they say, thank you, Strowman, and you deserve it to Reigns after he, bit on the blood capsule.
Oh my God! Not the blood capsule.
The blood capsule again. Like, as soon as I saw the blood, I'm like, blood capsule.
Oh my God!
That's so bad. That's so bad.
Not the blood capsule, bro.
I mean, it was great until they did the, backstage segment after the show was over.
What happened backstage?
So, apparently, WWE creative writers enjoy playing Gears of War.
Oh God!
Because, I don't know if you remember when we played it, but the Berserker,
Right.
The guy who just runs through crap, and we have to like, try
Yeah.
to
Ever.
Machiavelli
Yeah.
it outside so we can hit it with the Hammer of Dawn.
Yes.
Yeah, so apparently Braun Strowman's also a fan of it because he decided to run while screaming at Roman Reigns into and proceeded to break off a door of an ambulance.
Wow.
Like, it was probably the funniest thing all night. I'm like, I can't believe they really just did that. Like, he looked
Wow.
so strong. He looked so dominant. He really looked like the very, essence of the, not the face of WWE, but like the top heel of the company. Until
Oh
they
my.
go ahead and do some wacky crap like this. It makes me understand why you feel the way that you feel about Dean Ambrose so much. Like, wacky stuff like that. Oh, boom.
It's so crazy, man.
I'm like, that's like if, the like, I'm trying to think of a good euphemism with the water boy. Without making it, without, hurting people's feelings because it's going to talk about, people not being mentally stable and stuff.
Oh
But
my
I don't want to
god.
go there. But at the same time, I think you got the gist of it.
I
Like,
do.
it was just so stupid. I mean, the Raw Women's title, we knew Alexa Bliss was going to win it. Like,
I mean,
we rarely see wrestlers win in their hometown unless your name is John Cena.
right. I mean, I hate it because, of course, everybody loves Bailey.
I mean, first of all, we already knew that she was going to lose because the crowd didn't do the song.
Oh god.
Just saying. And you know what
Yeah.
song I'm talking about.
Hey, we want some Bailey.
No, not that song, the other one. They did that one.
What?
They did
Oh.
Dale. I wanna know.
Hey, Bailey.
Exactly.
But the
They
crowd
didn't do
might have
that
just
song.
been. The crowd
But
might have just been
like
whacked though.
the crowd was whacked the whole evening.
Yeah, it's payback.
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 It was terrible. I mean, Alexa Bliss, despite all the crazy rumors / stories about her in NXT, doing favors to get herself over. Hashtag bullet. I mean, props to her for winning both of the women's titles on both brands. Kudos
True.
to her. I just didn't like the way that it ended with her winning by a DDT. And I believe she won by a DDT again on Raw, which was stupid.
Because I've heard, I did read that she finished the match without even doing her finisher. Um, I mean, I really like how she has embraced her character.
Oh, I love it. Like, she has the face and everything for it. Like, it's like, I'm better than you all, and I'm going to tell you why. Like, she's quite possibly the best woman on the mic.
Yeah, I mean, she's really, and obviously it's a spin on the Suicide Squad, of course. I mean, if nobody's recognized it, she's just not as crazy.
I guess.
Her hair gets crazy. Her hair gets crazy.
Well, I mean, all women hair in the WWE looks crazy when they're wrestling. Like, have you ever really seen a woman wrestle with her hair staying the same way when she walked down?
I mean,
Unless it was like really, really short.
Definitely not. But I mean, the one thing about it is that she really took the character Harley Quinn, of course, and put a spin on it. And obviously, it
Which
could
is
have
weird
went
because then the commentators are calling her the Wicked Witch, which is like either she's Harley Quinn
right.
or, she's some character from the Wizard of Oz. Like, pick which one.
Clearly,
And then she's calling herself the Goddess.
They don't want to get sued, so she can't be Harley Quinn.
But they allow her to walk out like it.
I mean, it's very close. I mean, just looking at it, it's very close. It's just not it. I mean, we're talking about very, very close.
Does it really matter?
It does. But I mean, I was just saying how I like how she.
Waiting for the doctor to come back, ladies and gentlemen. I know everyone's definitely anticipating what he has to say though. This is actually pretty funny. Well, as we're waiting back, I'll give the my thoughts on the other matches as well too. Let's see. I mentioned the cruiserweight match. I mean, technically, the match itself was awesome. Um, I mean, I knew Austin Aries wasn't gonna win. I still feel like it's too soon for it. You know, they really need to try to build Neville as a strong heel, and they only build up on this storyline with also TJP, TJ Perkins, for those that doesn't know. And that's also a massive 30 mark. Hashtag follow King Ross. Hashtag fire JBL. Uh, but I mean, I knew that, it's too soon for it to happen. Like, it's too soon. But the ending was just terrible, though. I mean, that referee, first of all, was smiling. Like, who smiles? Seriously, like, who smiles? That upset me so much. I was so mad. I was just so mad. Trying to get the doctor back on the line. But continuing on, the Kevin Owens Chris Jericho match. I don't understand. I mean, now they've written off Chris Jericho off. I just don't like 50-50 booking. It's always just been a pet peeve of mine. I understand why they continually allow, you know, one wrestler to win, especially if it's for a title, and then another wrestler to just win on free TV. Like, I won't mind if it was like back-to-back pay-per-views as much, but when it's on free TV, like that's the line for me. Like that just annoys me so much. Not so much of the wrestling action itself, more so just the storylines. Like, it just makes both of them look weak. That's why I had such an issue with the Sasha Banks, Charlotte hot potato for the Raw Woman title. It just annoyed me to no end. Try to dock it back on real quick. That's just one of my pet peeves. 50-50 booking, like it annoys me to no end. Having some technical issues. Actually reaching out to us right now. Just close the show early tonight. but we do apologize for it. Actually, I think we might have to just call it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for all the delays, but we will leave you with my final thoughts real quick because we are unable to get the doctor back on to the show due to some technical difficulties that we will be yelling at Chris about. But I will give my two final thoughts and we'll end the show. The first one is where myself and the doctor will be sending out our thoughts and prayers to Brandon Roy, who was injured in a shooting this past weekend. He was protecting some kids who went. They went to a party and just crazy, everything that we was talking about earlier today about the shootings out here in the DFW area, and our thoughts and concerns goes out to him. The other one is giving a shout out to Street Fighter V player Punk, who won the DreamHack Austin title over one of the Japanese gods, Hai Tiny. It was actually a great event. One of the things that I noticed was the decline of prowess and drive of the Doctor's favorite player, Justin Wong. I don't know what's going on with him, but I have to see what's going to happen. He basically went winless in the E-League pools, and now he's just going down from here. So we still have, I believe, one more tournament that's going to be coming up before Evo, which myself and the doctor will be out there for. And it's looking like we're going to have some young guns looking to try to bring home the title there. So congrats to Punk once again for winning this. Definitely cementing his place in the Capcom Cup by winning his second premier event to add to his resume. But we're going to close it out tonight with a track by The Consoles. They are a cover band that does covers of popular songs as well as some video game and anime songs as well too. Tonight's track is called Dick Gumshoe. It's Detective Gumshoe Pal from the Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game on the Game Boy Advance. Be sure to follow them and offer their support for them as well too. The link to the video of the song is in the description of this video. And thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I am the Professor John Gotti of Dace Monk Friends. We are on live every single Wednesday. Be sure to like the video on YouTube and hit subscribe. If you hit the little bell on the YouTube page, you will be notified of any new content that comes to play. Follow myself at Ken86. The Doctor at TL Double, Debates Among Friends at Debates Among Friends, and we are also available on all podcast applications. Thank you again, and we'll catch you again next week, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Peace.